Welcome back. Today I am joined by Susan McInerney, who is here on behalf of Social Services. Well, it's so nice to finally see you again after all these months. How are you?
I'm good. I was just thinking, I think the last time I was on was the very beginning of all of this. So it's been about 5 months, I think. Yeah.
It has, and nobody thought it would last this long. So it's been really crazy. But you know, you guys are still doing your thing. You're still in business. You're still helping people. And you know, I think all of our staff is really just modified and adapted and doing the best that we can. So let's just remind everybody what social services is.
Yes, so social services is part of VMS. We've been here since the early 70s, really. Our mission is very different from others departments. Our mission is to help enhance the lives of village residents, and to maintain independence. So what we can do to make your life a little better, make sure you're doing the best you can. And man, have we been doing that a lot recently, helping people figure out what they can do to manage during this time.
Give me an example of how you would help someone.
Yeah, so recently, part of what we do, I'll kind of run through part of what our service is. We do short-term counseling. We do a lot of long-term planning. We do emergency services, which means someone who had a fall or someone who got a scary diagnosis, someone whose husband or spouse, wife is struggling with some sort of physical or mental health issue. We're here to support in any way we can. Typically that's it's referrals and resources to the community at large, you know, what is out there that can help. But then when we bring it in-house, it's counseling from we're all about to be or are licensed clinical social workers. So we have the background, we're trained in therapy. We can't do long-term traditional ongoing counseling just because there's not that many of us and there's a lot of community members. So we tend to stick to focused, solution-focused therapies, you know, what we can do right now to make life better.
Okay. And I guess, so when I talk to other departments, you know, such as senior services, you know, they talk a little bit about the same kinds of things, although I think most of their stuff is really run on volunteer basis. Yeah. So do you run that way too, or do you have a staff?
We have a staff. We have, what's unique about us is we have a core staff of social workers, and we have an intake coordinator, and we have the friendly visitor coordinator. That are VMS employees. And then what I find exciting about our department is we have partnerships with Saddleback Hospital, with Council on Aging, and Alzheimer's Orange County. And they have housed social workers within our department under my supervision, but provide direct services to residents. Okay. With a focus, whatever their focus on. So Council on Aging is more the friendly visitor program. The hospital is on fall prevention and health. And then Alzheimer's, we're focusing on memory issues.
Okay, great. Well, that's good to know, because I wanted to clarify that you do have staff and people are licensed and that type of thing.
Yeah, in fact, we don't have, the volunteer program we have is through Friendly Visitor, but through the social work aspect of it, we have no volunteers only because we are strictly confidential. Everything we do. I know there's a lot of residents that want to come into our department and help, but it would hinder a little bit if you knew you were coming in to get counseling when there might be, your neighbor might be volunteering in the program. So we try and make it as neutral and absolutely we're confidential in all of our services.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. That makes sense. Now, let's talk a little bit about how you have adjusted. COVID-19, obviously you can't have people come in for memory training or, you know, any other types of in-person training. So how have you adapted?
So in the very beginning, we all went home immediately and worked from home. It's been a few months where we've been working from home. We started to come into the office a little bit now, but we're not all at the same time. There's always a social worker in the office. But through all of that, we've been doing telehealth services. So we are, a lot of what we do is through this platform of Zoom and through the telephone. It's a little tricky. We've been using, for some emergency services, we've been relying more on our security to go out and put their eyes on the situation. And we work very closely with Adult Protective Services, the crisis assessment team through the county. So we work together in that way where they're out in the field.
Okay.
Yeah,
And now how about coming up? Do you guys have some programs? I mean, I know you said that
we
you're
do.
starting to come back into the office now, but I still think residents really aren't being seen in person.
Yeah.
So what are some programs that you're going to have going forward?
So as I think you've already talked to, well, I know you already talked to Kathy Delfana, we have adapted the Friendly Visitor Program for the Buddy Program. So that has been enhanced so everyone still can volunteer and get services through a Friendly Visitor Program through the phone. But another thing I'm really excited about is we're working on adapting curriculum for a Zoom support group directly designed for socially isolated older adults. So it's going to be a good one because it's going to focus more on the mental health component. There's a lot right now of anxiety in the air, uncertainty. So we're going to talk more about, give you kind of strategies, hands-on strategies on how to help reduce anxiety, how to take more control of a situation in your life. I mean, everything we're seeing, everyone's anxiety is a little bit higher now with COVID and the elections. We're getting a lot more calls for mental health services than we usually do.
Wow.
So this will be a great outlet for people to have a group of people within the village where they can connect with and get some good strategies.
I think that's a great idea because I think most people, which, you know, I'm not complaining because more people are watching our channel. However, and we're trying to promote positivity and good
Yeah.
stuff, you know,
Yeah.
but when you tune into some of the other stations, you know, you are looking at an awful lot of negativity. He said, she said, and like you mentioned, the election. So we certainly want to make sure that our residents are feeling good and not feeling isolated or feeling down. And I do believe from some of the doctors that I'm talking to, this is going to be the outcome of COVID-19 is a lot of very upset, unhappy people.
Yeah. And what I find interesting when I think about it is we've done a lot of groups in the history of social services. I've been here on and off for over 10 years. And the thing that I've seen that people do, how they adapt best to aging is to be able to pivot and change and be flexible and understand that not everything is going to be the way that you might have expected it to be, which is a weirdly lines up with what we're going through right now too. The same advice applies. So I'm trying to tell people, just take a breath, control what you can control, vote and eat well, take a break from the TV when you can, just take a breather. Because I think people are getting themselves so revved up. Yeah.
Oh yeah, my father's 90 and he's about this level of anxiety right
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
So, you know, and you try to talk to them and help them out. It's, you know, like you said, just take a deep breath. It's not going to affect your, you know, your immediate you know, outcome, I think, is what they need to understand. So good stuff. Well, I'm really glad that you were able to take the time to meet with me. And I'm glad you guys are coming back to the office. I think we're all trying to, over the course of the next few months, to get back to some sort of normalcy. So thank you. Good stuff over there.
Thank you so much. And yeah, and please, if anyone has any concerns, just give us a call. We'd be happy to talk. Yeah.
Okay. Great, Susan. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay. And we'll be right back after this.